My next project is a picnic table and separate benches for my daughter's new house that she bought in Indianapolis. It's got a 9 by 13 deck that's all covered. It's kind of a unique little home, but it's very nice. But anyway, she wanted me to build a table and some benches. So I'm going to make it out of construction material. And however she wants to finish it, that's up to her. If she wants to paint it or stain and put some finish on it, that's not my decision. But the unique thing that she wants done is that she wants this to be able to be taken apart. So the top needs to be able to come away from the base, and the base itself needs to be able to break down as well, so that we can get it in and out of there. I mean, for me, it's just getting it in there, but maybe when she takes it apart and finishes it, whatever. So the idea here is that it's going to be a 3 by 6 foot top, kind of your standard base with some X legs and bracing. I've kind of mulled it over in my sleep here. Sometimes I wake up and think I've got it all figured out, but it's one of those things that I'm going to have to see it to kind of figure it out or implement my ideas in the construction of it. So what I'm going to do is I've got 7 2 by 8 by 12s here. I'm going to pick the best 3 to get the top out of it. I'll have an extra one that can be used for, I'm going to rip it into 2 by 4s or cross pieces to keep the top flat, or I'm still wondering whether I want to put a breadboard end on it or not. There's lots of things going through my skull right now, but my first priority is to kind of go through this and pick the best 3, cut them in half, and get my top. And the other thing I want to do is join them, run them through the planer, clean them up a little bit so that the top looks more decent than just off the shelf construction lumber. So whether I end up with 36 or 35 and a half or 35, I don't really care. That's my goal, is to get about 3 feet wide, 6 feet long. That should be easily obtained, I think. Okay, these are all 6 foot pieces, enough for my top, I think, and then enough for 2 benches. Then over here I've got, what I'm working on here is the X's, and what I did was joint one edge, rip it, flipped it, ripped the jointed edge to get make sure I've got parallel edges. Then I took it back to the joiner and jointed both sides. Now what I'm going to do is run them through the planer, take them down to about 1 3/8 or so, get rid of some of this rough stuff on here that you see. I don't really care about actual thickness. I want them to be the same thickness, but this will give me an idea of how much I need to take off of these pieces here. So those have yet to do the same procedure: joint, rip, take it back to the joiner, joint, and then plane them. So I want everything to be about the same dimension. So what I've got here is 4 X's. These are plenty long, 4 pieces for the X's, I should say. Then I've got 1 leftover stick here for the bench X's, and pieces I need to connect the top to keep it flat. All the other the parts I'm going to need are going to come out of that stick there. This didn't turn out too bad. It's fairly flat. It looks good. I'm pleased with the way it's turned out so far. So I'm ready to go on that. So my dimensions for the half lap, or for these X's, are as follows, I guess. What I've got is the long edge is 37 1/4 approximately. I might make it a bit longer. And then this angle here I made at 50 degrees. So just trying to keep it simple. That, when I worked it on my computer, that X then falls to about 35 inches, I think it was, somewhere in there, 34 3/4. At any rate, it's inside 36. So I want to make these first to make sure that my tabletop is gonna work out. I may have to add a small piece down the middle to get the width I need. But anyway, this is a good start. Just off of my line, just a hair. So make one more trim cut here, take about a half a blade. Then I'll check it with this to make sure, or see how close we are. Boy, that is so close, I'm not going to mess with it. I mean, I can just click my thumbnail on this end. Okay, that's enough for today. There's 4 cuts made. And I'll lay out the length, and that they're a parallel cut. The difference will come when I do the half laps, which side is up and which is down. But that turned out really good. I am excited that I can make that sharpened angle cut with this sliding table I have. All right, I'm back at it here. I've taken my one of my legs and taken the cut end here and located it against this stop, and then I have a one of the drops to hold it in position as I slide it in here, so it registers nice and snug there. Now I could clamp this down, but I'm not going to do that just yet. What I want to do here, actually that's probably not a bad idea. Let me just do this. Keep it from moving. Okay, so what I've got here is I dropped the line here, did a real world measurement type thing with this laying out on a flat surface. Measured up from that line. I can do it this way, and it comes out to 28 3/4. That's a little high. If my top ends up being 1 3/8, that means it'll be 1/8 of an inch higher than 30 inches. I'm not going to worry about it. And the other thing I can do is I can trim this shorter later. I'm going to let it run long for now. But what I want to do is locate a point down here on this end so that I can get these registered in this direction and locate my half lap. If I'm off a little bit one way or the other, I don't know how I could illustrate this. Well, you could take another board. Let's just say this is another leg. You could slide that thing as far as you want it and increase the width, or if you went this way, decrease the width on top. I want that to be relatively as close to center as possible. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So what I've done here is I've taken, as long as I know these angles are good, I've taken and set my angle square to the complementary angle. And this first cut was 50. That means this angle is 40. Make sure that that's what it is. Yes, 40 degrees. So I'm going to drop a line from this point. Okay, so you can see where I'm snug in this corner. I brought this in snug here, clamped. This is held tight. This is brought to the intersection of this line. Bring these straight edges together, and right here is where I want to make my mark. Now if I bring in my other leg, match that up to that line. Make sure it's tight. That should be approximately halfway. And there's my intersection. So what I'm going to do is cut this half lap first. Make sure that this fits this properly. Then once this is nestled in there and I've got them registered again, then I can make this mark on the opposite side and finish this one.